We're at the sidelines of the Banking Unlimited Summit, and I have with me Mr. Raul Rebello, who is the MD and CEO designate of Mahindra Finance. So, a very interesting panel today on the potential of NBFCs and going forward, the role that they can play. So, I want to connect this with what we're observing already in the economy. We're observing a year where there's a slow global growth. We're observing a 6.5% growth, GDP growth, and the highlight is going to be rural demand. It's going to be consumption in that sense. So when we link these two factors, what is the NBFC advantage in helping bringing that forward further, drawing in from what we've discussed so far?
Sure. So if you look at India, how we are uniquely positioned, we are among countries one of the lowest in terms of household credit to GDP. So the headroom for us to really grow in terms of lending, both banks and NBFCs, is quite large. Add to that the structural shifts which are happening in terms of the way in which a lot of the opaqueness which was earlier associated with funding the bottom of the pyramid or the low income households. I think a lot of that is going away thanks to what the government RBI has basically done in creating very, very structural, strong enablers for participants like us to deliver credit. Take, for example, the India Stack, the Jam Trinity which came together. There is a unique kind of ability for us now to really go and further financial intimidation in the last mile because of the visibility and the lowering of opaqueness in this segment. So that's one. But, we are today, because of the seasonal disruptions that we see, maybe with monsoons being a little bit of a worry, we're just hoping we are able to overcome that. At Touchwood, we're seeing September clawback from the August levels. But rural sentiment of monsoons is very important. So we'll, fingers crossed, wait and watch how the monsoons pan out. The whole El Nino overhang needs to kind of pass by us for us to have a good year overall in rural. But structurally, I would still say, looking at the long and the medium term, very exciting from NBFCs to participate in this space.
Just touching up on the challenges that lay ahead. You have said the rural sentiment and how that goes about will be one of the challenges. Now, this is an evolving playing field, right? Technology is also a big contributor to this playing field. What do you see as the challenges going forward for NBFCs as you scale and grow?
See, NBFC is a very large cohort. You have, folks like us who are pretty large. RBI has done a very good thing to kind of discriminate between top, upper, middle, and the lower rung NBFCs. So the categorization is a good step forward. One, it makes folks like us who are we are about 1 lakh crore, will be 1 lakh crore in terms of loan book by end of the year, which means it's very similar to a bank, and the systemic risk that we pose versus a bank is nearly the same. So it is but important that the kind of regulatory oversight on large players like us is at a different nuance level than the real small NBFCs. So one is the ability for RBI to now have very specific regulation guidelines. That's a step in the positive direction. Two, I think for NBFCs like us to continue to really be at the forefront of rural lending, in the forefront of kind of pushing lending to low income households. The fact that we've got a little bit less ambiguous clarity on what the regulation is. The regulation earlier, probably there was a bit of gray. I think now with RBI's streamlining of what is exactly black and white, and the engagement in terms of how they expect us to firm up our offices on not just maybe risk compliances, but even audit and compliance practices. I think the clarity on that just helps us improve our own housekeeping, improve our own compliance standards.
Thank you. Pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much.